Ever wondered how important data privacy is in our digital age? In a world where data is the new oil, data privacy is the vehicle that ensures it's used responsibly. It's the safeguarding of personal and sensitive information from unauthorized access. Imagine your social security numbers, financial records, or health information falling into the wrong hands. Sounds scary, right? That's where data privacy steps in. It serves as a protective shield, keeping our intimate details secured and out of reach from prying eyes. But it's not just about security. It's about building trust and confidence. When we know our data is safe, we feel more comfortable sharing it, contributing to a more connected and efficient digital society. It's also about legal and regulatory compliance, ethical data practices, and preserving individual autonomy. So, data privacy is not just about protection. It's about trust, legal compliance, ethical data practices, and preserving individual autonomy. You might be wondering, is data privacy the same as data security? Well, let's break it down. Imagine data as a precious gem in a fortress. Data privacy is about who is allowed to enter this fortress, when they can enter, and what parts of the fortress they can visit. It's about ensuring that only the right people have access to the right data at the right time. It's about consent, about proper handling of sensitive data, and about ethical and responsible use of data. Data security, on the other hand, is about how the fortress is protected. It's about the moats, the high walls, the guards, and the lock systems that prevent unauthorized access, theft, or corruption of the data. It encompasses tools and practices like encryption, password management, and network monitoring. While data privacy is about the rules and regulations governing how and why data is used, data security is about the practical measures taken to protect that data. Data privacy can be seen as a strategy, a set of guidelines that dictate how data is to be handled. Data security, in contrast, is more tactical. It's about the tools, technology, and practices that physically protect data from harm. Both are crucial in today's digital age. Good data privacy practices ensure that individuals' personal information is handled responsibly and ethically, fostering trust and confidence. Good data security practices ensure that this information is protected from unauthorized access, increasing its integrity and reliability. One without the other is like a fortress with rules but no walls, or walls with no rules. A fortress with rules but no walls is open to attacks from any direction. A fortress with walls but no rules is a maze, where even those with legitimate access might misuse or misplace the precious gem. So you see, while they may seem similar, data privacy and data security each have their unique focus and are equally important. They are two sides of the same coin, each complementing and reinforcing the other, working together to protect the valuable data that is increasingly becoming a central part of our lives. While they overlap in many areas, data privacy and data security are two sides of the same coin, each with its unique focus. Let's delve into the principles that govern data privacy laws. In the world of data privacy, there are four crucial principles that form the basis of most privacy laws. They are consent, purpose limitation, data minimization, and individual rights. Understanding these principles can help us comprehend the spirit behind the laws that protect our data. First up is consent. Consent means that organizations must obtain an individual's agreement before they collect, use, or disclose their personal information. This is usually achieved through a privacy notice or consent form. In essence, it is about giving people control over their personal information. Next, we have purpose limitation. This principle states that personal data should be collected for specified, explicit, and legitimate purposes. It should not be further processed in a manner that is incompatible with those purposes. Simply put, companies can't collect your data for one thing and then use it for something else without your permission. The third principle is data minimization. This means that organizations should only collect the personal data that is necessary for its intended purpose. No more, no less. It's about ensuring that excessive or irrelevant data isn't collected or stored. Finally, we have individual rights. This principle recognizes that individuals should have rights over their personal data. These rights can include the right to access their data, correct inaccuracies, erase data, restrict processing, and object to processing. It's all about empowering individuals and giving them control over their personal data. These principles are not just theoretical concepts. They are practical guidelines that organizations must adhere to when handling personal data. They help to ensure that our personal data is treated with respect and used responsibly. It's important to remember that these principles are not exhaustive. Different jurisdictions may have additional principles or interpret these principles differently, but regardless of the specifics, the spirit behind these principles remains the same: to ensure the ethical and responsible use of data. These principles are the backbone of all data privacy laws, ensuring the ethical and responsible use of data. Different regions have different data privacy laws. Let's take a look at some of the major ones. Firstly, we have the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, established by the European Union. This law focuses on the protection of personal data and the rights of individuals. It gives EU citizens control over their personal data and simplifies the regulatory environment for international business. Moving across the pond to the United States, the California Consumer Privacy Act, or CCPA, and the California Privacy Rights Act, or CPRA, are two notable laws. The CCPA provides California residents with the right to know what personal data is being collected, the right to delete personal data held by businesses, and the right to opt out of the sale of personal data. The CPRA expands upon these rights and introduces new privacy rights. In Canada, the Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act, or PIPEDA, governs how private sector organizations can collect, use, and disclose personal information in the course of commercial business. Down in South America, Brazil's General Data Protection Law, or LGPD, is similar to Europe's GDPR. It aims to unify the over 40 different statutes that previously governed personal data, both online and offline, and to give individuals more control over their personal data. In the United States, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, has a privacy framework. This is a voluntary tool designed to help organizations identify and manage privacy risk to build innovative products and services while protecting individuals' privacy. The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, or APEC, has cross-border privacy rules, or CBPR. These provide a framework for organizations to ensure protection of personal data transferred among participating APEC economies. Over in China, the Personal Information Protection Law, or PIPL, is the first comprehensive national-level law that focuses on personal data protection. It emphasizes the principle of minimum necessary use of personal information. Australia's Privacy Act, 1988, is designed to promote and protect the privacy of individuals and to regulate how Australian government agencies and organizations with an annual turnover of more than $3 million Australian dollars handle personal information. Lastly, in the United States, there are two more major laws to note. The Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or HIPAA, protects sensitive patient health information from being disclosed without the patient's consent or knowledge. And the Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule, or COPPA, imposes certain requirements on services directed to children under 13 years of age. These laws are tailored to protect consumers' data privacy rights within their respective regions. But what about developing countries? How significant are these laws there? Well, in the digital age, the importance of data privacy laws in developing nations cannot be overstated. As these countries rapidly embrace digital technology, individuals and businesses alike produce and consume vast amounts of data. However, the infrastructure to protect this data may not be as robust as in more developed nations. This is where data privacy laws come into play. They provide a framework for the ethical and responsible use of data, protecting individuals from unauthorized access and potential misuse of their personal information. Furthermore, these laws also encourage trust and confidence in digital platforms, which is crucial for the growth of digital economies in these regions. Moreover, data privacy laws enable developing countries to participate in global data exchange while ensuring their citizens' information is treated with the respect it deserves. In the digital age, developing countries are also recognizing the need for strong data privacy laws. Navigating data privacy is not without its challenges. As we delve deeper into the digital age, these challenges become even more intricate and interconnected. Let's explore some of them. Firstly, keeping track of evolving data protection laws is a task in itself. Laws vary widely from one region to another, and they're constantly changing to keep up with technological advancements. This makes it difficult for businesses to stay compliant and for individuals to understand their rights. The growth of data is another hurdle. We're living in an era where the amount of data generated is increasing exponentially. This data, if not handled properly, can lead to breaches of privacy. Managing and protecting this vast amount of data is a daunting task for organizations and individuals alike. The cost of maintaining data privacy is also a significant challenge. Implementing robust data privacy measures requires substantial resources, both in terms of finances and manpower. This can be particularly challenging for small businesses and startups who may not have these resources readily available. Then there's the issue of open vulnerabilities. No system is entirely foolproof, and every so often, new vulnerabilities are discovered that can compromise data privacy. These vulnerabilities can be exploited by malicious entities if not addressed swiftly and effectively. The advanced technology landscape, with the rise of Internet of Things and mobile technology, has added another layer of complexity to data privacy. These technologies generate and transmit vast amounts of data, often without the user's knowledge, creating new avenues for privacy breaches. Human error also contributes to the complexity of maintaining data privacy. Whether it's a simple mistake like sending an email to the wrong person or failing to install a security update, human error can lead to significant breaches of data privacy. Finally, there's the issue of lack of collaborative relationships between businesses and privacy professionals. Data privacy is a shared responsibility, and when businesses and privacy professionals work in silos, it can lead to gaps in data privacy measures. These challenges underline the complexity of maintaining data privacy and the need for continuous vigilance. Is there really such a thing as true privacy in the digital age? A question that resonates with many of us. We live in a world where data is the new gold, and it seems that every click, every search, every transaction leaves a digital footprint. This is the era of pervasive data collection. Pervasive data collection is one of the major challenges to achieving true privacy. We're talking about a vast network of data collection points that are constantly gathering information about us. From the websites we visit, to the apps we use, to the digital assistants in our homes, they're all collecting data. And then there's the issue of data breaches. Despite best efforts, there's always the risk of sensitive data falling into the wrong hands. Whether it's due to sophisticated cyber attacks or simple human error, data breaches can expose our private information in ways we never intended. Lack of transparency is another thorn in the side of true privacy. Many of us don't fully understand how our data is being used or who it's being shared with. We click agree on terms and conditions without reading them, unknowingly giving permission for our data to be used in ways we might not be comfortable with. And let's not forget about government surveillance. While it's often justified as a necessary tool for national security, the fact remains that it's a significant intrusion into our private lives. Data monetization is a huge industry, with companies making billions by selling our personal information. Our likes, dislikes, shopping habits, even our location. It's all valuable data that can be sold to the highest bidder. Finally, we have the global regulatory landscape. While there are laws designed to protect our privacy, they often struggle to keep pace with the rapid advancements in technology. And enforcement can be patchy, especially across international borders. It seems that achieving true privacy in the digital age is more challenging than ever. The illusion of true privacy is just that, an illusion. But understanding these challenges is the first step towards better protecting our data and our privacy. So, how can you protect your digital identity in this complex landscape? Indeed, safeguarding your digital identity is no small task in this age of technology and information. But fear not, because there are practical steps you can take. Firstly, let's talk about passwords. They're like the front door to your digital home. You wouldn't want to leave it wide open, would you? So always opt for strong, unique passwords. The longer, the better. And mix it up with letters, numbers, and symbols. Now imagine having a second lock on that door. That's where multi-factor authentication, or MFA, and two-factor authentication, 2FA, come into play. They add an extra layer of security, requiring more than just your password to access your account. It could be a fingerprint, a text message code, or an authenticator app. Use them whenever available. Next up, privacy settings. Yes, they may seem confusing and time-consuming to navigate, but they're crucial. They dictate who can see your information and how it's used. So take the time to go through these settings on your social media, email, and other online accounts. Turn off any unnecessary sharing and limit who can see your posts. Then we have encryption and secure connections. Encryption is like a secret code for your data, making it unreadable to anyone who doesn't have the key. Look for HTTPS in the URL when browsing, indicating that your connection is secure. And consider using a virtual private network, or VPN, for an extra layer of privacy. Finally, the terms and conditions. Yes, they're long, and yes, they're often boring. But they're also where companies hide what they're doing with your data. So at least skim through them, before clicking Agree, especially when signing up for a new service. By taking these steps, you can significantly enhance your data privacy and protect your digital identity.